From the studios of the Bitter End Media Group, deep in the heart of Texas, it's the Texas Backstage Pass Podcast with your host, Jeff Caperton. Actors, performers, musicians, writers, directors, and producers. This is your Backstage Pass to the latest in the Texas film, television, stage, and music industry. And now, here is your host, Jeff Caperton.
Hi, I'm Jeff Caperton, and welcome to the Texas Backstage Pass Podcast. If you haven't heard anything about us yet, we're a podcast all about the entertainment industry in Texas. We're going to try and take you backstage to meet the producers, the directors, the actors, the musicians, the makeup people, all the people that work together to bring you the entertainment that you see that's produced and happens right here in Texas. Everything from feature films to television series, stages and theatrical, and of course the Texas country music scene, or the Texas music scene in general. We've got an amazing music scene in Texas, so you couldn't do a show and not include Texas music. So all that's coming up. We want it to be entertaining. We're going to have guests on the show talking about things. We're going to go out and do some remote podcasts from backstage at various events and hopefully bring you some really interesting stuff there that's going to be entertaining and a lot of fun for you. Again, whether you work in the industry or you're just interested in it. So we really hope that you will subscribe to the show. Click the little subscribe thing down there, click like. We'd really like to have you like the show and share it with your friends. Tell your friends all about it. I want to thank our sponsors, initially Lone Star Beer, the national beer of Texas. We want to thank Norton VPM and Power Up Energy Drinks for sponsoring the show. We're also something we're going to do to give back is we're going to highlight two charities on every show and run an ad for them. The two we're going to do on this program is the American Cancer Society and St. Jude Children's Hospital. So you're going to see a little bit more about them later. We've got two great guests coming on the show today. We've got Victor Gelsomino coming on, actor, writer, producer, director. He's got a new movie filmed right here in Texas coming out pretty soon called Death Merchant, City of Destruction. It's going to be coming out really soon. I actually did some stunt work in that movie, so we're really anxious to see that and see it come out. We'll have a trailer for you, and we'll have Victor on in the B block. So looking forward to that. Also, we've got director and producer Danny Ramos is going to be on. He's got a number of things going on, and he's also going to talk about a new movie he participated in that's coming out soon called Say a Little Prayer, starring Vanessa Vasquez, which is she's a Los Angeles-based actress, but she's actually from Houston, Texas, and she's actually a good friend of mine, so we're going to have her on the show hopefully very soon at some point to also talk about this movie and some other things. But that's going to be really great. So we've got Danny coming up in the C block. But first, what all's going on in Texas? Well, obviously, if you are from Texas or you're in Texas, you know that we are still pretty raw and still pretty reeling from the horrible July 4th Hill Country floods. I don't know almost anyone who doesn't either know someone that was either lost a home or lost a business. And if you don't know someone directly, you know someone who knows someone. It was a devastating time that the whole state is still really, really reeling from. And but there's things that we can do. There are a number of benefit concerts coming out. George Strait just did one on the 27th, sold out show. He did fantastic. We've got a few others coming up. I want to tell you about them really quick. We got a bunch of stuff. Robert Earl Keen is going to spearhead a show on August 28th in New Braunfels at the Whitewater Amphitheater just outside Kerr County, which was the epicenter of everything. Excuse me. Trace Atkins is going to host a benefit concert September 12th and 13th in Fredericksburg, Texas, along with Stoney LaRue and our friend, Nashville songwriter and recording artist, and now Hill Country resident, Bernie Nelson is going to be there. Active military, veterans, and first responders, use the code 911HERO to get 50% off your tickets. So we'll try and have some links up there for you guys to buy this stuff. I've got to get them up before I leave town this afternoon. August 29th, 30th, and 31st, the Galveston Classic Car Auction and Texas Flood Benefit Music Festival, whew, that's a long name, is going to donate 100% of ticket sales to Texas flood relief charities. Entertainers at that include, Corey Morrow is going to be there, Gary P. Nunn is going to be there, Silva Rada, Pauline Reese is going to be there, and our friend country music legend Dale Watson is going to be there, so you got to be there. And one of my favorite bands of all times, and I haven't seen them live in years, so I may have to go down there, the Derailers are going to be there. So, y'all need to get down to the Galveston Classic Car Auction and Texas Flood Benefit Music Festival, August 29th, 30th, and 31st. And last but not least, on August 18th, the Tobin Center, along with the Will Smith Foundation, is hosting a benefit concert featuring our home state guide, Lyle Lovett, from right here in Houston, Texas, along with Gabriel Fluffy Iglesias. We all know and love Fluffy, Los Lonely Boys, and lots of others. If you can't make the show in San Antonio, KSAT, ABC Channel 12 in San Antonio, is going to broadcast it live, and I'm sure there's going to be some place where you can stream it after that. So those are some fun things coming up you might want to do. Also, there's some conferences and things coming up I want to tell you about real quick. We'll run through them really, really fast. The Houston Media Conference is coming up August 22nd through the 24th, right here in Houston, Texas. The Houston Cinema Arts Society and the Southwest Alternate Media Project present the Houston Media Conference, exhibiting local and national production companies, equipment rental houses, and featured speakers from film, television, digital media, legal, and financial professions, all to discuss and provide information about the business side of filmmaking. So that might be very interesting to go to. The Flatland Film Festival is coming up September 17th through the 20th in Lubbock, Texas. That sounds like fun. South Texas International Film Festival, September 10th through the 13th in Edinburgh, Texas. So if that's something you'd like to do. One of my favorites, the Crazy About Film Festival, is coming up in Mineral Wells, Texas. If you've never been to Mineral Wells, it's a great little town, and it's home of one of our friends, Mo Hedwick, a very big-time cowboy movie star going all the way back to Lonesome Dove, and has been in things as recently as Martin Scorsese's Killers of the Flower Moon. Mo lives right there in Mineral Wells, so Mo, if you're watching, hey buddy. And if you go to this festival, y'all go by and say hi to Mo. I'm sure he'll be there. The GTX Film Festival, Georgetown, Texas, September 27th. So all that's going on. Also, in other news, if you are around Texas, a lot of us are fans. We all got to see season 1 of the Taylor Sheridan series with Billy Bob Thornton, Landman. A lot of us really, really loved the show, and we were very excited when we found out season 2 got greenlit, and they've already been filming it all over Texas. I know of a number of sightings. I actually auditioned for 2 different parts in that show and didn't get either one, but I'm not bitter or anything like that. But no, the show's doing great. I've got a lot of friends working on it, a number of friends doing things. A good friend of mine was in town last week filming his little part in an episode, and he told me that they're wrapping season 2 this week. So this week will be the final filming of season 2, and then season 2 will be in the can. I tried to find an air date for it. Right now it just says 2025, so hopefully it will be before the end of the year, but we don't have a date. We'll try and bring that to you just as soon as we can get it. So anyway, that's kind of the Texas news. We're going to go pay some bills, and when we come back, we're going to have Victor Gelsomino on talking about Death Merchant, City of Destruction. Hey everybody, I want to thank our sponsor, Lone Star Beer. Let's find out what country music legend Dale Watson has to say about Lone Star.
Lone Star, there it is. It's proven the only beer served in heaven. It's the only beer that God. It's the only beer that Santa Claus drinks.
Well, as I told you, Texas Backstage Pass wants to highlight 2 charities on every show. One of the ones we chose this month was St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. St. Jude is leading the way. The world understands, treats, and defeats childhood cancer and other life-threatening diseases. St. Jude Children's Research Hospital is to advance cures and the means of prevention for pediatric catastrophic diseases through research and treatment. Consistent with the vision of their founder, Danny Thomas, no child is denied treatment based on race, religion, or the family's ability to pay. A tax-deductible monthly gift of as little as $20 ensures that no child is ever denied treatment based on their family's ability to pay. You can donate by phone at 1-800-805-5856 or at stjude.org. Hey, and we're back, everybody, and we've got our guest here, our very first guest on the reboot of the Texas Backstage Pass podcast. We've got Victor Gelsomino is with me right now. I hope I said your last name right. I've known you a long time and I've never asked you how to say your last name.
It's close enough.
Close enough? Okay, I'll take it. But glad to have you. Victor is a filmmaker, a writer, a producer, a director. He's made a lot of his own films, a lot of them right here in Houston. Some of them have done very, very well. He's got a new one coming out called Death Merchant that I actually got to come do some stunts in. So that was a lot of fun. I got to work with your stunt team again. Done a couple films with your guys and always had a good time. And on your stuff. So I'm really excited to have you on the show.
Cool. Well, thanks for all your help, man. I appreciate it over the years. So it's always a pleasure, having you on set. So always professional, always work hard. So it's great.
Well, we got to stick together, man, especially as
Yeah.
guys down here in Houston. There's not a whole lot going on here, but of course, this is all about all of Texas. I don't know how much you know about the podcast, but we're here to talk about anything in the entertainment business going on in Texas: films, television, music, live music, theater, stage, whatever's going on. So we got a lot of stuff happening. I had our second guest on the show today actually had to drop out at the last minute. I had someone coming in from the Film Commission, from the governor's office, to talk about the new incentives that just passed in the state legislature. They had a mix up with the press office and the governor's press office, and so we had to reschedule the interview. So hopefully we'll get that back for next week's show. But at any rate, I appreciate you being on the very first show, man. First guest on the first show of the big reboot.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, that's exciting. Well, I hope that, we get all these studios coming in and more film stuff happening. There's a lot of talent in Texas that a lot of people don't know.
Yeah.
And it really needs to be highlighted. And that was actually one of the things I wanted to do with this film, Death Merchant, is, I had all these friends in the stunt community and actors that I'd worked with over the years. And I was like, how could I fit as many people as possible in one film, and give a bunch of people just either stunts or a job acting or something like that.
Right.
And so that was a big part of even the decision to make this, and maybe not like, the way you should go about it, but it was, definitely just kind of the initial concept was that, like, is there a possible way I can get all my friends in a movie?
Yeah, well, that's a great idea. I've tried to do some of the same things, and we're always trying to create work for our friends and our buddies. I was asked to produce a movie a while back, and I wasn't going to do it because I had something else going on. And the director called me and said, "You know what? If we don't do this movie, a lot of our friends have been cast in this, and they're not going to get to work." And I said, "Well, shoot, man, So I went ahead and took the movie, and I cleared my schedule and did it. So it's really important that Texas filmmakers and Texas people stick together like that, and that's really great. I appreciate you doing that. I know there's a lot of my buddies that were on this film, and then we've done a couple of other films together. And again, it's kind of always seems to be the same cast of misfits that come together and do these things. But it's always a good time, and the more often we work together, the better we work together, and those kinds of things. So it's always a lot of fun. Now, tell us a little bit about Death Merchant: City of Insurrection. That's it's really a cool movie. It's got a couple of names in it too, besides just you and some of the others.
Yeah, it's got Tom Sizemore. It's actually one of his last films. Then it has Robert Lasardo.
Right. Yeah, Robert
Lasardo from Nip Tuck, and he was in The Mule, and he's been in a bunch of different stuff. And Christine Wynn, she was in a bunch of Death Race, and she's been in a bunch of films. And so a few other people have just done a lot of indie projects. Janet Wang, she's done a bunch of indie horror and action stuff over the years, and a few other people that really bring the film to life, which I really appreciate everybody stepping up and put this thing together and just giving their all, because it really took a village to make it. Took a city to make it happen, really.
It really did. And you got a couple of great locations. I remember filming the thing. We had that, I don't know if it was an old bank or what that was, with all the big pillars and everything, and then we had that big warehouse and stuff. It just some of the locations were just epic. It's gonna look great. I can't wait to see them on in the movie.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, that was kind of the idea. It's almost like a John Wick type film. Had like the city was its own character. We changed the city name. It's actually, it's all shot in Houston, but it's called Prison City, and because nobody ever leaves. And so there's 5 families that kind of rule this city. And
that sounds familiar.
So they're all, it's like you got the Asians, the Russians, the Irish, the Germans. You got all these people ruling the city, and they all kind of share this syndicate bank and kind of launder their money through there and hold a bunch of stuff. And they all have like a vault key around their neck. And so there's a guy, Robert Lasardo's character, wants to come and take over the city, have his drugs, flow through the city. And he wants to, kill all the mob families. And so it's just him owning the city, owning the bank.
Right.
And so basically, Max, my character, has to go throughout the city killing everybody. He has one night to kill all the mob families, get their keys, get them to Gabriel, get them to Robert, and then so that he can control the city. So that's kind of the premise. Yeah.
That sounds awesome. So we've got a trailer for it.
Yeah.
Go ahead and introduce the trailer. We'll have a look at it real quick.
Yeah, this is just a quick teaser, just a compilation of what the story's about, and then kind of just highlight each family real quick, and then gets kind of into the action. And so it doesn't really have Tom or Robert in it yet, because we're still in post-production. We're still editing all that stuff down. Mm-hmm. And so it's just real quick action trailer.
Okay, great. Let's have a look.
Word on street is the ghost is on mission from Satan himself, running around killing family bosses, collecting their keys.
So, the rumors are true. What do I call you? The boogeyman? The ghost? The death merchant?
Okay, that looks great. I can't wait to see it. And I know you got a little bit more to do. Tell us about what you need to do to finish it. I know you're doing a little indie thing to try and get this movie finished up. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. Well, thanks for showing that. I appreciate it. Yeah. And we are in post-production, so we just need VFX, some sound, and color. Mm-hmm. Just a little bit left. We have the initial assembly is done. And so, that's always difficult to get to. I don't know if you saw this. There's a documentary out called John Wick is Pain.
Yeah.
And it's really good. And they talk about how they shot the movie, and they were really excited and pumped. We shot a movie. We finally did it, their own thing. And then they got to the edit, and it was like, they were just like, our careers are over. It's a nightmare. It's no good, and you get those kind of feelings because it's all just raw assembly, and you're looking through footage, and you're looking through good and bad, and you're trying to really.
And you've got a lot of fight scenes in there too, and fight scenes are really hard to edit. So, man,
I'm telling you, shootouts, fight scenes. I mean, you have 5 families, and each family has anywhere from 5 to 100 people, and so you're having all these action scenes go on. So it was really just a huge budget film. Mm-hmm. But on a very small budget, it was a very indie budget. And a lot of my friends came out and helped out, and people really gave me good deals and rates. And, everybody really just stepped up to try to be a part of it and to make it happen. And, it's been a real blessing. And Houston has really showed up for this film, whether it was locations. We got some locations for free. We got a Lamborghini for free. Got a helicopter for free. We got really pulled a lot of strings, around town, and used a lot of connections that I had built over the years, or connections that Janet had built over the years too. And, even just with our friendships, people were more than willing to come out and help. And so I really appreciate that.
Well, that says a lot about you too, that people are willing to do that. People are willing to step up, that they not only trust you, but they trust your concept, trust your script, trust you're going to make a good movie out of it. And, I know I had a great time on it. I was out there several days at 2 different places, and I had a great time, and was with people I know and have worked with before. And all you have to do is pick up the phone and call me, I'm there. So that's always an easy one. But, what else you got going on besides Death Merchant? I know you had you released one was it last year or the year before?
think it was last year I released Devil's Night, and that was
Right.
like I co-wrote that and also played a character in it, and it was a indie horror movie. Well, kind of action horror. It was about a group of monster hunters that were demon hunting throughout medieval times. And so that was a lot of fun, and that's on Amazon and Tubi.
Oh, okay.
And
yeah, y'all be sure to watch that.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Very bloody, and kind of it's good.
Yeah, I tried to get to LA for the screening of that, and I was stuck here for something. I was trying to get out there, but it sounds like y'all had a really good time with all that. So,
that's really great. That was fantastic. It was great. We actually shot that here in Houston as well. It wasn't a Houston-based production company. It was actually a Vegas-based, and they shot. There's a castle in. Ooh, I'm going to get it wrong, so I better not say it. It's here in Houston, on the outskirts. Belleville, I believe.
Okay. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. I can't remember the name of it, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And so we were able to rent that castle out and shoot most of that. So that was great. And, we got a pretty good deal on it. And, I'm actually thinking about maybe shooting another medieval times style movie out there. That would be great. And then I got another movie coming up that's it's in the horror genre. So I'm writing that one, and I got some people on board to help produce.
Right.
And so it's a little bit of a like a simpler story.
Right.
It's not like hundreds of people.
Okay.
Good.
That makes it a little bit easier when you're filming anyway. Yeah, a little smaller cast.
Oh my God, yes. Yeah, I learned my lesson for sure. If I ever do something on this scale again, it will be probably better funded for sure.
Yeah. I get brought in as a producer for hire a lot, and a lot of the things I do, the first thing I do is I read the script and I say, you got about 20 people in this script you don't need. You could really save a lot of money if you trim some of these people off out of the movie. But it's just kind of the writers get in their mind that they want what they want. It's their story and they don't want you messing with it. So I'm like, what do you want to do? You want to spend money?
I remember when I first had written the script, and I have a mentor, and he's had some movies on Showtime and things like that. And he said, let me let my friend read it. He worked for CBS for a long time, and then give you some notes and tell you. And he was kind enough to read it, for free. And he came back. We had a phone conversation. He said, you don't want to do this. It's too big, and it's going to be too expensive. And, fortunately or unfortunately, I didn't listen to him, and I went ahead and took the jump and did it. But he was right. It was a little bit too ambitious for what we had, but we were able to somehow pull it off.
Yeah.
And thank God for that. And now we're just trying to wrap it up. So we're going to launch an Indiegogo and try to raise some extra funds for finishing funds, and then probably take it to Lionsgate or some other distributor. We'll probably be at the AFM this year.
Oh, very good.
Trying to shop it around. So yeah.
No, that sounds awesome. Well, look, tell people if they want to follow you and know what's going on. Do you have Instagram and Facebook and X and all that good stuff you want to tell them about?
I do. Yeah, I have Facebook, Victor Gelsomino. And then I also have Instagram. It's Epic Workouts 101.
Okay.
And I don't really do X or any of the other stuff, no Snapchat or anything like that. But
I have an X, but I think I posted 3 times in the last year or so.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we're just going to come back because, folks, we had a technical glitch during that thing. Literally just shut us down completely for a few minutes. Took us a few minutes to get things back together. But, hey, before I let you go, Victor, you were talking about some of your fitness stuff. I wanted you to talk about, obviously, I've seen you out there climbing around and with your Rambo outfits and shit on, doing your stuff, making movies. Talk to us about your the personal training and the fitness stuff that you do.
Sure. Yeah. I've been a personal trainer for over 15 years. And so that's kind of, my day job. So it was kind of, how I got from one film to the next, and just, I was training for a long time without doing film. And I was kind of like, I've always wanted to do movies. So I thought, how could I get into filmmaking? And I heard about Sylvester Stallone's story where he went to college for film and started writing, and how Rocky. It's not like writing Rocky, but he actually went to school for film, and I was like, oh, that sounds kind of fun. I've always wanted to do that. So then I started doing more film classes, and one at a time, and then took a whole bunch, and then kept going from there. And then you still, I think people have a misconception of movie making and films, is that like if you're on TV or you do a movie or things like this, then you're automatically super rich or whatever.
Oh
yeah. But the truth is, a lot of those people, like look at Josh Brolin, he was a day trader in between movie roles for a long time, for years and years and years, because he even said, you might, if you're very lucky, a small percentage, you might make $100,000 a year as an actor. But then you got your agent's fees and all the other stuff and taxes in California.
And good luck living on that in California. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And so he said, I had to day trade. I had to support my family. And I think that's true for a lot of actors and people in the business. And even when they do make it, look at like The Rock, he's got an alcohol business. He's got, they're all doing things on the side because you never know with films. You could have
a hit TV show today and be gone tomorrow. Yeah,
exactly. So, or a huge career. Think about some people that had huge careers at one point. Even John Travolta had a huge career for years, and then it went away, and it didn't come back till later on in his life, which got lucky. Sometimes it doesn't ever come back.
Right.
And so that's one thing I would say to like people that are striving to be actors or in the industry. I hear people like, oh, once I make it or once this happens, is don't, just rely on that for your life. That life continues, life goes on, things happen. Make sure that you understand business, make sure that you understand some other trait, that you can work on or do. And that allows you the flexibility and the freedom to continue to do film and what you love. And, make sure you save money and do all the responsible stuff.
Right. Be responsible with it.
That just get irresponsible because they think, they're always that, all that stuff is always going to be coming in, but it's not always true. So,
well, and, somebody was telling me that, of SAG-AFTRA, the Screen Actors Guild members, that something like less than 2% of Screen Actors Guild members actually make their full-time living acting.
Right.
It means 98% of them have a day job. They're out there doing something else. And, I've got friends that have done, big TV shows. I did 2 years of NCIS New Orleans, they've done big things. And, because you did that, that's great. And you had fun, but it doesn't mean you're all of a sudden riding around in limousines and going to red carpets every day. That's not what it's about, every now and then we get to go do something fun like that, but those are the good days. It's
right.
3 a.m. when you're covered in filth in a warehouse someplace, filming a filthy, dirty scene in a movie. That's when you're exhausted after an 18-hour day. That's what filmmaking's about.
For real. Yeah.
You better love it. So
because it's not always glamorous. A lot of those people talk about that too. It's just it's just not as glamorous as you think it is. Those. I think it was Arnold did Terminator 2. He said it was miserable because they did, overnights. So they only shot at night for like 3 months straight.
Right.
And he said, it was miserable doing that, but the end product was worth it. But he said, I hated every moment of it. It was
I know Tim Allen, when he did that Santa Claus movie, said he was so miserable in that costume that he had to wear to be Santa Claus. He absolutely hated making the movie. And when they came back for him to do the second one, he turned it down like 10 times, and they finally offered him enough money to make it worth making it. But he said, I do not want to put that freaking suit back on. It was just miserable,
Yeah, how it is with makeup and stuff like that. It's just like, I've played just a stunt zombie and all sorts of stuff like that. And it's just like, it's miserable, especially in the Texas heat. If you're a zombie in the Texas heat, it's not a lot of fun. So.
Well, even like Death Merchant, you're all covered in grease and dirt, and you're running around in your wife beater shirt, and you're running around everything. But we filmed today. You go home and take a shower, whatever. You come back tomorrow. They've got to make you look exactly like you did yesterday. They took all these pictures before you left, and they've got every smudge of grease, every drop of blood has to be in exactly the same place. I did a movie called Wild Boar, where we were out in doing all this stuff, and I'm covered in mud and blood, and my clothes are all ripped. And it was 3 hours in the makeup chair every morning while they painted every bit of mud and every bit of blood back on my body exactly where it was yesterday. And before I would leave, they'd take about 20 pictures of me. And when I came back in the morning, they're all on the wall, and they're painting the blood back on me. It was crazy.
Yeah. No, that's not a lot of fun, and a lot of people, forget about that.
Yeah.
It's like those are, the things that are not as fantastic about the job, but there's lots of great things too. Don't get me wrong, and there's a lot of fun, and there's a lot of friendships that you make, and a lot of good times. And that's why we all do it. And that's why we all love it, because
that's why people do it. You got to love it to do it, because even though it seems like a lot of fun, I've had a lot of friends that when they that wanted to do something, and I'll get them a extra role on something or whatever, and they come out and say it's a whole lot of sitting around, it's a whole lot of waiting, it's out in the elements, it's it's a long day. My wife, years ago, when I was doing a movie called Get Hard with Will Ferrell and Kevin Hart, there was a scene where it was Will Ferrell's birthday party, and they said, "Hey, you need to have I can put an actress with you as your spouse, but also know you have a pretty wife. If you want to bring your wife out, we'll put her in as an extra, and she can be your your other at the birthday party." So my wife came out to New Orleans and absolutely hated it. It was a 15-hour day in high heels in unbelievable heat. And, they had extra air conditioning. They were piping into this house that we were filming in. It was so hot. You can't even believe. I was wearing a suit, and I'd completely soaked through my suit. In fact, anybody that had a light blue shirt on, you get darker blue splotches where you were sweating. So they're coming around with a spray bottle, making you all wet. So it'll be all the same color.
Wow. Wow.
And it was just miserable hot, but she's never come back on a movie set since then. That was 2015. And she's never come back on a movie set. She won't even come visit me on mine. She had such a terrible night that night, and her feet were killing her. And I think we wrapped about 4:00 in the morning. It was miserable.
Yeah. It is. And it's just like this. Long days, can be 15-hour days, and just, and especially even if like it's not a great movie or something like this, it's just like you're doing commercial work or something, or you're doing, whatever, or you're trying to get your foot in the door, and you're just doing some background or whatever. It's long hours, long days, and
a lot of waiting around, a lot of waiting around, 2 hours while the guy adjusts a little piece of film over a light, so,
right.
It's not always just right,
as exciting as you think. And too, like, if you're just doing the acting part, making sure you're prepared, and you've done the homework of memorizing your lines and all that stuff.
It's a lot of work to be prepared. And then you show up not prepared, you won't get another job, because it'll get out real fast that you weren't prepared, because you will hold up the whole production.
Right. But
and you'll have a bad performance.
It's like you did the 15-hour day long and all that stuff. Now you got to go back to your trailer, or back to your Airbnb, and prepare for the next day, and make sure what lines is coming up, and that people adjust the scripts. And
you come in and got blue pages the next morning, you're like, oh man, you kidding me?
Right.
Because we would get off at 1 or 2 in the morning, go back to the hotel, and we'd all meet in somebody's room. There'd be 5 or 6 of us, and we'd sit in a circle on the bed and run lines for the next day, get an hour nap, and then go right back to set. You
got to plan on not really sleeping very much, especially when the production is happening. Is those are going to be a lot of sleepless nights. And so I think that's one other challenge that a lot of people going into it that have never experienced it before, is that you have to be willing to go. You shouldn't, right? You shouldn't, and you hope not to, but it can happen for sure.
Oh, it definitely will.
Yeah.
Well, hey, Victor, I appreciate you being on, especially being, the first guest on the reboot of the show. We started the show back in 2022, and the first day we went to Austin to shoot our first episode, somebody broke into my truck and stole all of our equipment.
Oh my God.
So it got off to a bad start, and I got discouraged, and we decided to kind of put it off. But I'm really excited to get it back going again. Hopefully we can become a resource to filmmakers like you and other people, stage, screen, TV, music, everything. We're hoping to build the website so that it's a place where people can go to see what's going on, follow follow the news and see what's up, follow individuals, also find vendors, resources, DPs and PAs and equipment rentals and the things like that. We're hoping to, really become a resource for people. So
awesome.
Hopefully the show will grow and become that. And I appreciate your help making that happen.
Anytime, sir. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you. And we'll be back in just a minute. And that's it. Thank you, brother.
All right, man. Thank you so much. It's good to see you. Good talking with you. You having me on. So
yeah, appreciate it very much. Say hey to Janet and everybody for me.
Okay, I will.
Well, she's been doing a bunch of shows, hasn't she?
Yeah,
a bunch of workout shows.
She's still doing film stuff and real estate and bodybuilding, and she's just a powerhouse of energy.
She's a powerhouse of a lot of things. Yeah,
So it's crazy.
She's a very impressive person. But,
yeah, for sure.
All right, brother. Well, hey, thank you, and I'll
thank you, sir.
I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, sounds good. All right, bye.
Hey everybody, feeling sluggish? Power Up Energy Drink is here to save your day. With a burst of natural caffeine and vitamins, it's the perfect boost to keep you going. Whether you're at work, the gym, or just need a pick-me-up, Power Up has your back. Stay energized, stay unstoppable. Power Up Energy Drink. Fuel your life.
Well, okay, we're back, and we're here with a buddy of mine. I've known this guy, about maybe 5 years, 4 or 5 years. A producer and director, and I guess, gosh, you've written and done some other things too. But Danny Ramos, out of San Antonio, Texas. He's a filmmaker. He's got a production company there. He's got 33 years in the business, directing, writing, producing, working in all various positions in all kinds of productions. Worked for ABC like I did. I started my career at ABC. You did a lot of work for ABC, and really excited to have you on. You've got a big movie that you worked on, getting ready to come out with some big names, and you've got a big event Friday I know you want to talk about. So let me just welcome you to the show and hear about it all, man. Tell me about everything.
Thank you very much for having me on your show. I know it's been a little while since I last saw you on the set.
Yeah, it has.
With Damien Chapa doing the Mexican exterior, and we filmed it here in San Antonio. I'm actually located right now in San Antonio. So, but I did the whole LA thing. I was out there in LA for about 15 years, from 2000 to 2014, 15. And I decided to reside back here in San Antonio. So I left my residency. And, but you know what, being in LA, it felt like it was 15 years felt like 30 years to me. Everything is so fast. And I had no idea that 15 years went by so quick. And come home in Texas, things were a little bit slower, settling back home.
Especially in San Antonio. San Antonio has a pace, it really does.
They call it a laid back town. It's totally that. In your front yard and your porch, drinking country time lemonade or whatever.
Right.
That's just the way it is here with the familia, eating tamales.
Yeah. And now you get toward the east side of LA, it gets a little more like that, but
Right. But who wants to go to the east side of LA?
No kidding. Yeah.
No, I went to the west side. I was up there with the yuppies and Beverly Hills thing. I was very fortunate to work on a film here in San Antonio with the Shapiros, Esther and the Shapiros, and they did the Dynasty projects, back in the days in the 80s, Linda Evans and all these shows, and it was with an Aaron Spelling production, and Esther wrote and produced, the Dynasty, and Aaron Spelling came in and kind of swallowed them up and made it a Spelling Productions. But long story short, Richard and Esther always wanted to do films, but they were caught in the television world. And we did one with Jay Hernandez. He's an actor that comes out of Magnum PI now.
Yeah.
But Jay Hernandez was in San Antonio like in 1999. And we did a movie called Living the Life. It didn't really go anywhere at that time. They had Blockbuster video stores back then. And the distribution was a very, I don't know what happened there. But it was a very good little independent film. It was like a $2.4 million movie. And I was a production manager on that. But anyway, long story short, they brought me invited me to go to their office and produce out there in Beverly Hills.
Very nice.
So I was there for at least 3-year contract. And that's what got me out there. And my son, of course. I have a son that lives in LA.
Yeah, it was a trip. I moved out there, and it's hard to even say it, 1985. I was 19 years old,
Oh my
and
God.
worked at the ABC affiliate here in Houston and got a network job offered out there, and just LA, heck yeah, packed up my car at 19 years old and drove out
Oh,
to Los Angeles. Got
yeah.
there at 5 o'clock in the morning and was at work at 8 o'clock in the morning. So
No, I love it. LA is, it was an opportunity for me to, kind of broaden my horizons, so to
yeah.
speak, and really see the industry, how it really functions in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
And because I was already doing films in San Antonio, and I was already working on like ABC with Dick Clark,
Right.
any little production that comes to
Yeah.
Texas, like they do now with
Yeah.
The Landman and all the Paramount movies.
Right.
And the Taylor Sheridan folks.
Right.
It was back then. It was the same thing, but in this case, in the '90s in San Antonio, you had Gambler 5, Kenny Rogers coming in,
Right.
uh, and we filmed at the San Jose Mission in San Antonio.
Oh, yeah.
You had Blank Check. You had
Mm-hmm.
like All the Pretty Horses, 8 Seconds, a bull riding movie.
Right.
And I was
Right.
actually fortunate enough to work on that one with an Academy Award winning director, John G. Appleton.
Oh, very
And
nice.
he had worked on Rocky and was an
Mm-hmm.
Academy Award in 1976. So working with John as his assistant, not a first AD, but as assistant to
Right.
the director,
Right.
it was a learning experience for me. And
Just getting to watch. Yeah.
in 1993, 94, got to meet Luke Perry and Stephen
Mm-hmm.
Baldwin, got to work with them, being on the set,
Mm-hmm.
hanging out with them. They became my buds, and we work on the film for about 3 months, and it's a family. And then after that, everyone disperses and they go about their merry way, and they go work on another project, go back home to LA. But
Mm-hmm.
it's great when you see them later in the future and say, Luke, hey, or even like John Schneider, when I work with him, Heaven
Yeah.
Help. And I know you know John
Yeah,
Schneider
John's a good friend of mine. Yeah.
from the Dukes of Hazzard.
Right.
So when he was in town in San Antonio, we worked on a TV on the Aaron Spelling project called
Right.
Heaven Help Us with
Yeah.
Ricardo Montalban and
Yeah.
Melinda Clark out of LA. And so John was one of the lead actors of this 13 episodes that we did
Yeah.
here in San Antonio called Heaven Help Us. And working with John Schneider and Ricardo Montalban back then,
Ricardo Montalban, legend.
I was a set PA starting off in the industry. So I
Mm-hmm.
went to School of Hard Knocks. I didn't
Right.
just go to University of Austin or University of
Right.
whatever and film school and then just started jumping into being directing
Right.
and producing.
Right.
I actually went to the School of Hard Knocks. And
Yeah.
just
Very, very few people get to make that jump like that.
yeah.
So,
So I worked really hard and I learned in the early stages of my career when I was 20. I'm 58 now, so I've been in the industry for 38 years.
yeah.
And so I learned firsthand the development, the PA, the getting the coffees and cleaning up and sweeping and
Right.
here the locations and working with the location manager, working with the ADs and working with the actors. I was like that guy, that key PA that handles all the walkie-talkies.
Yeah.
And so that really motivated me to say, wow, I have the key to the whole production. And I'm just a PA that's probably making bare minimum of
Right.
rates than everyone else up here on above the line. And here I am down below, and I have the key to everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Well, that's just it. If you do a little bit of everything, spend a little time in each department, you're going to know firsthand what everybody's doing. It's going to make you a better producer.
It will. And I think, school is great to go to film school. Of course it is, by all means, getting an education is great. But at the same time, you need that on-hands experience.
Yeah.
And you need to know the protocols and know the terminologies of words and understanding what things mean on the set.
And just trying to run a professional set.
That's right.
Out there. I was fortunate that I worked on an ABC lot. I was with ABC News, but we were on the Prospect Avenue lot out there in Hollywood. This is before ABC moved over to Burbank after Disney bought them. But there were so many shows shot on our lot, sitcoms and different shows and stuff. And when we had extra time, we'd go into the other studios and we'd watch them rehearsing and even go to show nights, sometimes the taping nights, and watch. And I would just watch. I wouldn't necessarily watch the show. I'm watching the actors and the directors, and I'm watching the lighting guys and the camera guys, and I was just watching and learning. And I've tried to do that in my producing. Everything I've produced, I try to produce it. Just I don't care if it's a $50 budget. I try to produce it like a $50 million budget. I want just the same level of professionalism.
100%. I mean, and especially now that I'm in the DGA, the Directors Guild of America, as a first AD, as a second AD, as a UPM. Now I learned the safety protocols, like really like understand the sexual harassments and everything that plays in being safe. The number one, safety. What happened with Alec Baldwin over there in Mexico, wherever, about the gun. But those are the things and the precautions of getting with stunts, or getting with making sure you're a stunt man, making sure everything is correct, everything is safe. We have backup, we have fire extinguishers, we have whatever it takes to get you home safe with the kids. And at the end of the day, we're just having fun. And we're all coming home. And
that's my thing. If it's not fun, might as well go do something else, because this is hard work. People don't realize how hard work this is. It's hard work. If it's not fun, we're not having fun on set, go somewhere else. Now, there's a time for playing and there's a time for working, but if you can tell the difference, it's great.
No, exactly. I always said, like what everyone says too, about once you feel that it becomes a job, it's time for you to look for another one, because it's not a job. It's a career. It's creating and producing for the audience, and taking them into another world, another dimension, so they can get out of their world of what they're dealing with in their life. And working in films or working in television, you have that escape, that they can escape and go into our world that we're creating for them. So when you're working at a job, and you're working at an insurance company, and you're wrong, I think everyone that works at jobs, I had a job before. I worked at an insurance company, so I know what I'm talking about, because you have to answer the phone, you have to be customer service, and you have to do it's a job, an 8 to 5, and when it's time to punch out, you punch out. But not in this industry.
Not in this, no. And believe me, a 12 to 15 hour day at a job is an unbelievably unbearable day. But a 12 to 15 hour job, it's something, doing what you want to do, making movies, you don't even realize you've been there 15 hours,
No. And then sometimes they switch the days from nights to days and days to nights.
Throws
and
you off,
you have splits. And when you have that, you have to do it on the dime. What you're doing, what you're getting into on a movie. You can go from days to nights, or from nights to days, or whatever it is.
And they don't give you a week in between. It's like we switch to nights tomorrow.
And the things change on the set. There's always cover sets and rain delays and whatever have you that happens, that you have to change the schedule, and you have to change in a quick notice and a quick turnaround. So as an AD, as an assistant director, you have to run the team. And so that's what I enjoy the most, is going into like some uncharted territory, but that you got to go from this island to this island, and you have to swim through it, and it doesn't matter, but we're all gonna go from this island to that.
We're all going together.
We're all going together.
We'll either sink or swim together.
That's it. And that's what I love about this kind of industry. The process of the whole thing, from the pre-production to the production, even the creative, just creating something. We need more creators out there. Now they have cell phones, they have easy camera access to 4Ks and 6Ks and 8Ks, that if you want, anyone can. I mean, an 8-year-old kid can direct something out of their lunch line at the cafeteria at their grade school, and film something about the cafeteria food, and then they make a documentary or a short film.
And it can look just as good as something we used to make 25, 30 years ago.
Right. So they don't, that 8-year-old, that 10-year-old, that's a filmmaker now.
Yeah. Okay, everybody, sorry about that. I know that's the second time that's happened. We're going to have to get the IT guys working on this thing. We just had another blue screen thing and lost our deal. Just kind of picking up where we left off, you were just talking about the technology and how everybody can have the technology in their hands now to really make some good quality stuff. You're talking about little kids in school, and it was making me think of I remember, hearing about Ron Howard, biggest director in the world, these days, and talking about how when he was a kid, on the Andy Griffith show, on one of his birthdays, somebody gave him an 8mm camera, and he and his brother started making movies in the backyard, and that's how he evolved into being the biggest director in the world, and I can imagine the kids with the technology they have today, the kids that are getting inspired, and the kind of creativity that are going to come out of these people.
Yeah, no, it's the technology world is unbelievable now. Everyone's on a computer, everyone's on the phone, everyone's watching something, they're playing video games. We had Atari, just going.
Oh yeah, the Pongs,
just playing tennis with each other.
Right.
Now it's just really like, oh my God, they're machine guns and
all right, so a lot, and the VR stuff is insane, but I look back, I started out in news, and I look back at the equipment we used to have to take just to go do a live remote locally, was a truck full of equipment. But when we had to travel, especially if we had to edit while we were traveling, an edit pack was like 5 huge Pelican cases, just to travel with. Now they carry a laptop. So it was insane the amount of equipment we used to have to take with us, especially if we were traveling internationally. It was such a mess.
Yeah, but I was telling you about the Academy Award winning John G. Appleton, the late John G. Appleton that I worked with on 8 Seconds. I was his assistant, and I was really like in awe just the fact that I was his assistant. So he had to just focus and not be, so to speak, like starstruck. So I had to just do my job and I know who he is. I know what he's done, but we have a movie to make. And I was in the job, in the zone. And I kept to myself. I did what I had to do. I wasn't, brown nosing or kissing his ass like people do. I wasn't being a nuisance because if you start doing that, you're done.
Yeah. They don't want you around anymore. So
So if you play this job or the game as you got a job to do, and we already all know who all these celebrities are, even as an actor, when you're in front of a camera acting with Brad Pitt or whoever, the minute you're like all in gall, oh my God, like rap, you just went down. You're done.
That's going to kill your performance if you're an actor. Yeah, it's going to mess you up.
That's right, because now your mind is now back in the reality mind, and you need to make your character believable in the scene here. So it's hard because you're like bipolar, you're split personality, and you're an actor. You're there, and you're there to act. You're getting paid to be an actor. You need to be in that character, not to Jeff or not to be Danny. You're now whatever that name is on whatever on the call sheet. So going back to John, I finally broke the ice. We talked. He would ask me questions. I'll talk to him, and we became buds. Eventually. But in the beginning, it's all business. It's not personal. It's like you got to do your job. And then finally, you find that little soft spot where he opens up to you, or any actor, or any celebrity, or any director. When he opened up to me, I felt it was the right time to ask him a question. And I said, John, we're already been in a month of work already. So I said, John, you know what? I have a question for you, if you don't mind, if I can just ask for your opinion and recommendation, or what do you recommend a guy like my age, starting off in the industry? What advice would you give me to become a director like you? And I thought it was an honest, fair question to ask that. And because I looked up to him, and he looked at me, he was already calling me "oh boy." So I knew I was already in with him. It wasn't like, Danny Ramos, this is what you need to do. He said, "Oh boy, you want to be a director, huh?" And I said, "Man, one day I'd like to be a director, but what advice would you give me?" And then he goes, "Well, And he looked at me and he says, "Go direct." And that wasn't the kind of answer I was looking for.
I was looking for a task list. Yeah.
I was more about like, tell me more rather than go direct. So I'm like, go direct? And he goes, it's real simple. You want to be a director, go direct. Go pick up a camera, write a script, know what your story is about, and go after your story, get with the actors, find a community acting theater, get some actors together, have them play your scene, and build it, and tell your story, and go and direct them, and tell them, okay, I need you to come in here, and I need you to do this, and I need you to do that, and go direct. And I was just like, what a genius man to tell me, which is something really, really simple. If you want to be a producer, go produce. If you
just do
want to
it.
be an actor, go act. Want to be a director, it's not like there's there's some certain things that you have to guidelines or whatever, but
you'll learn real fast what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong, and then you'll fix it.
You'll fix it. But no, I that right there motivated me to say, he said for me to pick up a camera and get some actors and direct them, and then I could become a director. Now, maybe not an Academy Award winning director, but I got to start somewhere. What he did, and that's
just being a working director is good enough. If you just
correct.
do what you're loving and make a living at it, that's great. I don't have to have a wall full of awards.
And that's the thing. We don't really work for awards, or we don't even work for money at times. We love the art, and that's why we do what we do. But eventually, when you make it a profession, now it is about money. Now it is about picking and choosing the right job for you. But you still don't lose the excitement about working on a project, but you have to be selective and say, that's a really low budget, and normally I wouldn't do it. Man, I read that script and I know where he's going with this, and this director is blowing my mind away. And he wrote the script, and it just like, bomb. I need to be involved in this. I have to be involved in this movie. Even though there's no money, I don't care. I want to do it because this could actually help me with my career, with working on something that is so like, wow. That was beautiful. It was the art. It wasn't about the money or about the stars.
When also doing it, every time you do it, you get better at it.
That's
when you don't have a lot of work and there's work offered to you, even if it's low budget, if it's whatever, in some, you got to be somewhat discerning. You don't want to waste your time, but at the same time, if you get a chance to go direct a music video or a commercial, for a local tire store, whatever, just do it. Every time you do it, you learn more, and you improve yourself so that when you do get that thing that can really be great, you're ready for it.
Yeah, no, I love it. I mean, just everything about what we're talking about even just motivates me right now, believe it or not. It's the excitement.
We need to make something again, dude.
By all means. We did that Mexican Gangster with Damien Chapa. We definitely
that was great.
On another one. Maybe with John Schneider, I know.
John's got a couple of things going on right now. He's got a TV series, a couple other things coming up right now.
So and we're in Texas, so I got a couple of things, like you said, the Luis Fonsi movie that we did in San Antonio called The Answer, or Say a Little Prayer, with Vanessa Vasquez that lives in Houston.
A wonderful friend of mine. She's a great friend and a terrific actress, wonderful actress.
So that one should be coming out again. It's being hopefully picked up by I think it's if I can remember, MGM. I think MGM's looking at it right now. Patrick Perez, the director, Cristina Nava, the producer of Migrant Filmworks, and the writer Nancy De Los Santos, they're handling all that out there in LA, but it's going to get out there again. It came out for a little while on Amazon Prime, and they took that film because it's an independent project to the Cannes Film Festival, and when they went out there, they put everything on hold. so they didn't leak it out, because now there was a distribution that really wanted to kind of, the mothership kind of wanted to take it and said, you have to clear the slate and don't have anything out there. So they stopped.
Con is definitely the mothership.
Yeah. You know,
we took the very first big movie I ever produced was Dog Eat Dog with Nick Cage and Willem Dafoe. And we got into Con because of our director, Paul Schrader, you know, was, you know, big time, you know, guy, you know, Taxi Driver, Officer, not Officer and Gentleman. Anyway, a bunch of movies. He's a huge director.
Right.
And we ended up winning a director's award there. And of course, you know, of course but it was quite an experience, because, you know, that was the first big budget movie I had ever produced. And so that was quite a thrill. Of course, all of a sudden we got into Con, but we had spent all our money. So we had to raise money just to be able to go over there, you know, but it was terrific. And it was quite an experience.
Yeah, no, it's exciting. And, you know, it's always great to work on independent films. But at the same time, it's amazing when you work on a studio picture that has a very big budget, and that they pay union rates. And, so it's always nice to work on those studio pictures. But at the same time, some of these actors that are very well known, their agents get them. They're A-listers or even B-listers, but they're high-end B-listers or A-listers. And a lot of agents don't want them to go, no, stay away from that territory, stay up here. And sometimes the lead actor knows an independent film producer and says, man, I love that script. I want to play that part.
Right. The guy's a friend of mine. It's a great script. I want to do it, you know.
I want to do it. And I don't care what my agent says. I'm going to freaking do it.
And there's a lot of guys that will do that. Schwarzenegger would do it. Matthew
McConaughey.
Bruce Willis, you know, even before Bruce Willis got sick, he would do, if he liked the script, Whole 9 Yards was a little indie movie that he read the script and loved it. He did it for no money, just to back in.
That's it. That's what they want to do, because they love it and they love the character. They're artists.
Yeah.
They're at the end of the day, they're artists, and they want to show their work on screen. And
some of us need the payday. They don't always need the payday. They can wait for the delayed payday, you know. So
no, and I get it, and I totally get it. Gene Hackman, all these guys back in the days, they were doing Jack Lemmon. They were doing all these old films, and they were big times. But every once in a while, they'll throw in a little independent film in there, and it becomes the French Connection, or if it becomes something huge.
We never know what movie's going to just go nuts like that, you know. They just things then, come out of nowhere.
And then you have the Robert Rodriguez guys that you know, work hard what they do, and you have Elizabeth Avalon that's with him, and they do El Mariachi, and then for $7,000 with their family and friends in Mexico, and then all of a sudden Sony or Columbia picks them up and they do Desperados, like a kind of sequel to it, or a remake of the Mariachis to Desperado with Salma Hayek, and
with a real budget.
All of a sudden, Robert Rodriguez is who he is now, because you could either be that one-hit wonder. Sometimes you get lucky and you're very fortunate and you're that one-hit wonder. But if you don't have that creative juices flowing all the time, it's only going to be like a song, a one hit. Everything that you do after just goes down. You don't have that experience, the knowledge, and all that. You just have that one song or that one hit movie. But
I think it's a combination of talent and creativity. You've got to have the creativity to do it, but also you got to have a talent at it, and you've got to have experience. You got to get into this thing and do it. And the more you do it, when you do get that break, you manage that break better.
That's correct.
You know, versus
and not saying anything negative about anyone or about their careers. It's
God
just
bless anybody in their success. So
that's right. You know, the Blair Witch directors, the Blair Witch Project was genius. And they did a great job. They probably had no idea that
we were all mad because we didn't think of it first.
I was like, we do that all the time, but we just didn't put it out there. I mean, I feel us camping with my sisters and we could have put a flashlight in my face.
Right.
I could have done all that, but these guys did it. And then, but it was now the big studios wants them and now they have to produce more.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have to produce more and you're like, I don't, that's uncharted territory. I don't know how to do that. I only do this. This is my baby here.
I know how to grab a camcorder and go in the woods. I don't know how to put a whole crew together and,
Yeah, because that baby's only going to last for a little while, but you got to move on. And if you have the experience and the knowledge, then Hollywood will take you in, but now you're in the machine.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to deliver. What's next, Danny? What's next, Danny? What's next? You don't know.
As hard as we work on these things and they get out there, and then all of a sudden, 6 months later, they're gone. Everybody's on to the next thing,
Like, hey, whatever happened to that movie, those directors or those producers?
Yeah.
You gotta be out there. You gotta be hungry. You gotta, everyone's different. There is no wrong or right or this or that. The fact of the matter is, congratulations to everyone that has done something.
Mm-hmm.
And people would never even get to that level.
Yeah.
So congratulations to anyone that picks up a camera, that acts in front of a camera, and regardless if it's no pay or big pay, go at it. And you never know, it could be a Napoleon Dynamite or something that can just blow up.
Getting a movie made and having a deliverable ready to deliver. You may not have anybody to deliver it to, but you completed a movie. You made a movie. That's a huge. I've worked on several movies that never got finished. I worked on one for Disney Plus, huge budget. We spent a ton of money, and they got into post production. Next thing I knew, the thing was shelved after we'd already wrapped. It never got finished.
This never got finished, and that's what I'm saying. So anyone out there, they do a little project, they put it on their channel on YouTube.
Yeah,
at least it's showing somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
At least you can, send a link to someone and go, dude, that thing had like 9 million, views, or it's 300 or 1 billion views. Oh my God! And that's what.
That's what I'm hoping for with the podcast. So
well, there you go. You're going to be up in 1 million.
There we go. We'll see how that works out.
No, it should be great, and congratulations to you and everything that you're doing.
Thanks.
Producing stunts, acting. You name it, you're doing it. All over Hollywood. Everyone knows you, and just keep up the good work.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Hey, let's. I know you have a trailer. For this movie. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the movie and the trailer, and then we'll watch that real quick before you take off.
I got a couple of trailers. One is the Margarita Man movie that you see behind me with Danny Trejo, and that one's an independent film that I created, produced, and wrote and directed. And I got a co-buddy of mine, Aaron Lee Lopez, with Mutt Productions, and they co-produced it with me in production. And wrote it, and we all kind of got together as a team, and I was able to tell the story about my brother, and I ended up getting Anthony Fajardo, which is right there, Anthony Fajardo. He was on Fear the Walking Dead in one of the episodes, and then obviously we all know who Danny Trejo is, and Jesse Borrego, but. Just wanted to make a wholesome kind of cool Van Wilder flick, but put the Latinos' faces on there this time.
I
always wanted to kind of do that and kind of speak to my people and say, look, I could direct just as John Hughes or whoever it is, 16 Candles. I could do that, but I could do it with this. And so I wanted to kind of put this Latino film out there, but yes, I speak the obvious. I am a Latino filmmaker, but that's what I don't want to just become.
Right.
I am a filmmaker, period. Doesn't matter if there's a Latino at the beginning of it. The fact of the matter is Danny Ramos is a filmmaker, not Steven Spielberg, Jewish filmmaker.
Right.
Steven Spielberg, filmmaker. And that's the thing that I always wanted to do. So I was like, you know what? I'll tap into my people, the Latino, the cultura, so that way they can say, wow, we can do it. A Latino creator, a Latino producer, a Latino director, a Latino actor, bringing all these people in together, kind of like what Gary Marshall did.
Yeah.
You know, when he does a Pretty Woman or when he does Valentine's Day, he gets a group of people together and they're all like, it could be Selena Gomez.
Yeah, it's everybody. Yeah.
It's everybody together.
It's like he sent a bus through Hollywood picking people up.
Just picking people up saying, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. You got this part, you got that part. Yeah. And that's kind of like what I wanted the motto to it was to say, if they could do it and they're big time rich people and I'm not, I could probably do it if I just have a bunch of friends that are just going to want to believe in me. And
you're not going to have Ashton Kutcher and Selena Gomez, but you're going to have all your buddies and stuff. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Or even
Danny's a super Corbin. Guy. Yeah.
Even a Barry Corbin that's in the film. Barry Corbin from Urban Cowboy. And,
Barry's everything.
In War Games.
Now Yellowstone and everything else.
So. He's a Texan.
Anything Texas, Barry's in.
And you know what? The funny thing is that when we reached out to Barry, one of my producers, Andrew Saldana, reached out to him, and Linda McAllister, an agent, his agent. When we reached out to Barry Corbin, it was a long stretch. We're like, man, we would love to have this campus, chief PD, be the chief PD, like the campus police. And we wanted Barry Corbin. We would love to have Patrick Duffy or someone to play that. And then when we reached out to Barry, I actually thought he was going to say no. And I was ready for it. Didn't have that kind of money to pay a lot of people. And we had some, but it wasn't that much. So when we reach out to Barry's people and Linda McAllister, thank you to them. But I thought he was going to say no. And he said, you know what? The only reason why because I don't want to do this police or sheriff thing.
He's done a lot of that. Yeah.
I've been doing a lot of that. I'm trying to stay away from that. But for this one, I will do it only because I thought he would say because of me. No, he says only because it's in San Antonio, Texas, and I filmed all over Texas.
Yeah.
All the cities, all the counties, and all over Texas. But one place I'd never filmed was in San Antonio.
Oh, wow.
And that's in my bucket list to do something in San Antonio.
Well, you hit the right button.
And I'm going to do this margarita, man, for Danny Ramos. So
that's great.
He came in, we had dinner. I took him to a Mexican restaurant and he loved it. He was with his wife.
Oh, yeah.
And, man, we had a good talk. I loved him in War Games.
Oh, yeah. Everything going back. He was on Modern Family. He was it Cam's dad? Yeah. I mean, he was.
Yeah.
He was just
One Tree Hill.
Yeah.
One Tree Hill. He was on Northern Exposure with Cynthia Geary.
Oh, yeah.
Cynthia Geary was in 8 Seconds. She played.
He's a super guy. He and I had the same publicist for a while, and we were at an event together. But he didn't remember when I was a little kid. I did some background on Urban Cowboy, with John Travolta, which of course was his very first movie ever. And we're filming the funeral scene where Barry Corbin's character dies, and I'm between the things. I'm over sitting on a tombstone at this at this cemetery, and Barry's there, even though technically he's in the casket, But he's there walking around, and he comes over and sits down next to me, and he and I have a little chat and talk, and so I got to share that memory with him, and he thought that was was pretty cool that I had that memory from when I was a little kid, meeting him for the first time on his first movie.
Wow, that is crazy. That's a good story. Yeah, and these are the stories that we have, that you have, that I have, that a lot of people in this industry, they have some sort of a recollection of a story that they remember from a celebrity like him or our directors like John G. Avildsen or working with John Schneider, just people like that you go, wow, that's Bo.
Right.
That's the Dukes of Hazzard. Like, no freaking way. And so our we're up in the age, but the good thing is that we're only getting better at what we do.
That's true.
Even though we're older guys.
Yeah. Before we get too far, let's go ahead real quick. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Margarita Man trailer.
That's right. Take a look at it.
Here it is, Margarita Man.
Mr. Martinez, I finally get to meet you face to face. Heard a lot about you, especially the parties that you host at this university. Congratulations, young man.
Wow, I don't know what to say. Thank you.
Well, there's a $15,000 fee for the hole in the walls.
Orale, what's wrong with you?
$15,000?
That's it. I'm not paying for school anymore.
What?
I suggest you start packing.
So what are we gonna do now?
Still need to figure out how to pay $15,000.
I have an idea.
Oh my God, this is the best margarita I've ever had. What's your secret?
The latest sensation, Del Martinez, is making waves.
Oh my gosh, this is on viral. You know what that makes you? The Margarita Man.
Pico llamado Margarita Man.
The Margarita Man? I want to have an end of the year party, and you're the guy who throws all the parties. I present to you the Margarita Man.
I've always loved watching people have a good time.
All right, who's ready for another shot?
You're something else.
He's a little different.
Well, I don't know too much about biology, but I think you guys have pretty good chemistry.
Listen, Pancho, you stay away from Michael. What are we gonna do about it?
We need to run him out of business.
Miguel, we have a problem.
Margarita Miguel is history.
When times got rough, you kept your head up high, because you're not a quitter.
College isn't for everyone, son.
I never realized just how good I had it. I just want to say that I'm sorry. Never meant for you to think that I wasn't proud of you.
This is a man who needs no introduction.
Don't mess with the bull, or you'll get the horns.
Okay, that looks great. That
was fun.
Yeah, I bet it was fun to do.
It was fun. Like I said, it's a college kind of,
yeah,
like a Ferris Bueller, like a Matthew Broderick,
Right.
or like one of those Van Wilder flicks. It was
Right.
pretty much a rip off of it. So it wasn't like something like Water for Chocolate, like some movie that was so dramatically. No, this is a romantic college comedy and very commercially driven. Like I said, I wanted to take a stab at it just to show that I could do these kind of films, and at the same time, I also love like doing dramatic movies or
Yeah.
horror
Yeah.
film, all genre types
Yeah.
of film. You know, I don't want to just get captured as Stephen King, and this is all I do.
Right.
Imagine if Stephen King did a romantic comedy. It
Mhm.
just wouldn't be
Not the
a
same thing,
King.
right?
He is who he is.
Mhm.
And people stay in their lane.
Yeah.
And there's other directors that are open to kind of like what I started, like a jack of all trades. And I used to hear that all the time when I first started in this industry was, Danny, you're a jack of all trades and a master of none. So we can't really count on you for a position because you're not mastered in that position. So throughout the years, I've always been a jack of all trades.
Yeah.
And then what I've come to realize that I started mastering all of them. I started mastering this and that department and that. So I became a jack of all trades and a master of a lot of them now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it was for my benefit to be the jack of all trades in the beginning of your career. So that way you can understand every department. So now that you and I are producers, Jeff,
Right.
you know exactly what the problem is.
And or if the lighting guy comes over and tells me this is going to take a little while, we've got to do this and this, I'm like, I understand, you got it.
Oh, I understand.
Do what you got to do. Yeah.
Or I understand. Or
why don't you try this?
Yeah. Why don't you think about doing this? Why don't we do this instead of that? Oh, we didn't think about that. Like, you're there as the producer. You're there to save money. You're there to still get the same creative shot that the DP and the director wants. I'm for that. I'm all for whatever they want to capture on film. At the end of the day, no one knows how we did that, but I'm not going to get that helicopter. I'm not going to order a helicopter and pay a pilot to go up there to get that one searchlight that they're looking for in that movie. We have a Condor. Get a freaking light. Use that damn thing. Movie. Just go like that.
Oh, yeah.
And there's your searchlight. All right.
Yeah.
You don't need no freaking helicopter. When you do stuff like that, then you go, wow, you know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
If you don't, you go, yeah, okay, well, let's order a helicopter.
Yeah. Well, and little things like that, one of the reasons that I get hired a lot is, and people tell me this when they're interviewing me, is because I have a reputation of being able to get a really high production value with little tricks about things. Like, we were shooting a movie. We had 3 scenes in a police chief's office. three different scenes that take place at three different times during the movie. And of course, we're shooting them all in one day, you know, at an actual a police station.
That's right.
There in Cedar Park, Texas. And we're in the police chief's office and we're shooting. And, you know, I'm like, you know, we got these three scenes. They're almost identical, you know. Right. And this could be an office anywhere. I could have just hung some police crap on the wall. It could have been an office anywhere. And yet we're paying to do this in the police station. Why don't we take one of these scenes where the detective comes in to talk to the chief? And why don't we shoot it out in the parking lot? The detective pulls up, gets out of his car. The chief's leaving to go to lunch or something. They have the conversation in the parking lot. You got 25 police cars back here in the backdrop, cop cars coming in and out, you know. What kind of increased production value, if you wanted to stage that scene, what would that cost? You know, and we've got it for free right here, right now, you know, and little things like that, you know, bump the production value of something so high. And that's where experience, you know, comes in. And they loved the idea and we did it and it looked great, you know.
I think it's genius when you can do stuff like that and they give you that respect. And even if it's the gaffers, the DP, the director, they go, you know what? I'll make that work. Absolutely. I think you're right, you know. But sometimes they you know, the DPs, directors, they want everything. They're like a kid at a candy store and they want all the gadgets. They want everything.
And they know what they want. Yeah, they know exactly what they want to see at the end of the day. And
right. And
sometimes you can talk them into acquiring that a different way, like you said, by faking the searchlight and doing different things. But yeah,
absolutely. And you just said it. You know, like, look, we all want what we want when we're growing up from our mommy and daddy, and we say, "Dad, I want that bike. Dad, I want this." Well, he might not get me that brand new one, but he'll give me a used one. He'll get me something that eventually it's just going to sit there and get rusty.
Right.
And say, can you imagine if I would have bought him that brand new bike? He would have just threw it there.
Yeah.
They all want toys. They all want toys. These kids, I want this toy. I want this toy.
Yeah.
And then get it. And then a week later, it's just broken and thrown away. You know, it's like, really? Like, you're going to take care of that toy like that? Like, when I was given a toy, I took care of my toy, you know?
Yeah.
And what these guys need to understand is like,
they do.
They just want. And sometimes the producers and the UPMs are the one that go, you have to say no.
Absolutely. I just got back from the Cinegear conference in Los Angeles, and it was on the Universal Studios backlot, and they had, you know, every new toy and gadget you can imagine, from the big cranes to the dollies to different cameras and lenses and just all kinds of technology. And man, I'm just walking around there like a kid in a candy store. You know, it's like, wouldn't it be great to do this? They have drones as big as your car. You know, they got just the most incredible equipment and stuff that they can do these days. And I'm just looking at this. Oh, could I have some fun here? You know?
Yeah, and those are the studios versus the independent world.
The big boy toys.
Yeah. So sometimes the independent world and the director and DP might be thinking studio wise. And it's like, dude, we don't have that kind of money. Unless you open up your wallet and you want that, let's get it.
Right.
Oh, no. I don't. Okay, well then cut it out, you know, because we're filling the budget.
Right.
And so just work with me. I'll work with you. But if we don't have it, how are we going to get it? Unless you have a contact and it's of a favor, then you'll get it. But if we didn't have the money, how am I supposed to pay for it? With my looks?
Right.
Like, it ain't gonna happen.
That ain't getting us anywhere. No.
The money don't grow from trees, you know, so can't have it. And you have to say no. And but when you say no, at least have a reason to say no. You don't just say no as a producer and say, nope. You got to give them a reason. And because they're going to ask you, why are you always saying no?
Usually has to do with money.
And then when you say, look, now so you want to pick my brains why I said no? I'll tell you why I said no. And then so that gives you the knowledge and the experience. So that way a light bulb rings in their head and go, you know what? I'm never going to ask them why he said no again, because he always makes sense of what he's talking about. And this time I'm not going to, if he says no, then it's no. But if I can say, I tell you what, tell me a reason why you want to have that equipment, that special gadget, why, tell me, like, explain to me so I could
pitch your case to me.
so I can make it happen.
Right.
So when you explained it to me, I said, oh, so you're just trying to create your own little reel for yourself, right? You're not really trying to do something for the movie.
For this picture, yeah.
Yeah, you're just doing it something to make you look good. Well, look, I want to make you look good too, of course. But at the same time, do we really, really need it?
Because if I spend the money on that, I'm not going to be able to spend it on this other scene over here that probably really needs it.
That's right. That's more important. Where it really needs the money.
Yeah.
And so you have to battle that you have to be in the field of battling your decisions and put the money where it needs to be put in, rather than, man, should have had more picture cars. Should have had more set dressing.
We could have had more of a lot of things, but
more of a lot of things.
But you got to do what you want to do. Well, look, Danny, we're getting toward the end of our deal, but I wanted to thank you for coming on. What I want to do is when we wrap up here and say goodbye, we're going to go into the trailer for Say a Little Prayer.
Okay, great.
And all that, but I appreciate you coming on. Is there anything else you wanted to get out there before we get off the air?
That's pretty much it. I mean, I'm just happy to be a sponsor to that John Leguizamo project. That they did with Ben De Jesus and MSNBC and John Leguizamo have been working on Leguizamo Does America. And they're going all around different cities and states. And they're showing the culture of the Latinos in those cities and states. And I think it's a wonderful thing. So I'm happy that John and Ben De Jesus, the director, reached out to me because they actually filmed an episode here in San Antonio, Texas, and so we're having an event on Friday, this Friday, at the Joe Long Theater at the Carver Community Center, and we're gonna premiere or screen the VIP screening. We have like 650 people that are showing up to this thing.
Wow, great.
And then we, it's just mind blowing because everyone just wants to be a part of something like this, and they want to come out. And it's going to air on Sunday of this week. I think the 10th on Sunday.
Oh, nice. Okay.
August 10th. So, but it's just a great thing to that they reached out to me to help them sponsor. Even I didn't work on the production of it, but I was able to come in as a sponsor,
right?
To be involved with Ben De Jesus and John Leguizamo.
Very nice.
That's definitely promoting them. Good job to everyone that worked on that project. And then the Say a Little Prayer. The trailer. Hopefully you'll show that at the end.
We'll show that here in just a second.
Yeah. But
so no, it sounds great, man. So appreciate you being on here. Everybody, where can people watch Margarita Man if they want to watch that?
Yep, it's on Amazon Prime. You can take a look at it there. It's free also on Tubi TV.
Okay.
And a lot of your streaming programs out there. Just go to your apps and
just search it.
Go to Roku. If you guys have Roku, you can search the engine on Roku and it'll pull up exactly where. And it's actually in Spanish too. They dub Spanish voices over the English version. So if there's Spanish speaking people out there that are watching, know that it's in Spanish as well.
Very nice.
Hombre Margarita.
All right. Hey, thanks so much for being on the show. Hey, everybody, y'all be sure to watch Margarita Man. Y'all be sure and watch for Say a Little Prayer. And we're going to take a look at the Say a Little Prayer trailer right now.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Are you ready, Boots? Start walking. You keep saying you got.
We'll start with 15.
Are you
1500 is the bid. 1500. No.
Okay, this is when I take my hoops off.
It's called Good Debt.
I never said I was going to propose to you. To your great booty. Beauty.
Follow the tradition that we have upheld for generations.
Saint Anthony, the saint you pray to when you lose your car keys.
I want to see the prayer.
Me too.
Amen.
Looking for anything in particular?
Swore I never love again, so I do.
Nothing beats a picnic by the river.
You just found me enchanting.
You are quite the tour guide.
When we kiss,
Ruby, you still haven't told us what your mystery man's name is yet.
You are freaking unbelievable. Stay out of my life, stay out of our lives.
let the mission bells ring me home, 'cause I am saved.
When you see a painting and you have that connection with the artist, it's magic. Told you it was magic.
He's a vegan.
So no carnitas? No ribs?
Never.
In Texas? That's weird.
Hey everybody, I just wanted to thank you from the bottom of my heart for tuning in and watching Season 1, Episode 1 of the Texas Backstage Pass podcast. I hope you'll tune in again. I hope you'll follow us. Please click like at the bottom. Please click subscribe on whatever venue you're watching us on. Please follow and subscribe. That's how they know people are watching, and we get sponsors, which gives us the resources to go out. We're wanting to do some great remote stuff from Backstage, where we can talk to the actors and the producers and the directors and the lighting people and all the people backstage, which is where the action happens. And we want to go back there and bring these things to you. So if you click like and you click subscribe, that's going to help us get the resources to do that. Please support the show. Please support our advertisers. Also, that's very important. Unfortunately, we really wanted to talk a little bit more about the Texas Film Incentives with the gentleman from the Texas Film Commission. Unfortunately, there was a scheduling problem. We've got the governor's press office working on getting them rescheduled to come on. But in the meantime, on the same note of the Texas Film Incentives, let me leave you with this. Take it away, guys.
You ever wonder if this industry of ours is just chasing its own tail?
No. I don't wonder. Restrictions, regulations, nickel and diamond productions, political lectures. Hollywood, it's a flat circle wood, round and round like a record with the sound off.
So what, you just want to turn the record off?
No. I want to change the tune.
I got a CD of Jonas Brothers B-sides. Real deep cuts.
Look, this industry's like somebody's memory of an industry. And the memory's fading. I'm talking about a whole new hub for film and television, a renaissance, a rebirth.
How about a wholesale takeover?
Yeah. Small fraction of Texas budget surplus could turn this state into the new Hollywood.
Well, but we're not going to call it Hollywood. We'll call it, like, Fort Worth, Beaumont,
Austin,
Houston,
El Paso,
Longview,
McAllen,
Brown,
the Alamo,
Frankston.
Yeah.
McConaughey, where are you guys? I'm already on set. Texas has pulled a boatload of money for film incentives last session. In this session, the sky's the limit.
No, we heading to Texas, Billy Bob.
All right, well, the barbecue guy just dropped the grub off, so you might want to get on down here. It looks damn good.
Hey, Billy Bob.
Yeah.
You're on in 5.
Okay, thanks, hon. All right, dude, I gotta go.
Yep.
Hey, it's Renee.
Renee.
Hey, y'all, just heard from Billy Bob. Told me you're heading to Texas.
That was quick.
That's quick.
Damn.
Well, count me in. I've been hotel hopping in all these other states for way too long. And I get it. I mean, making a production is hard. And if all these other states are going to offer an incentive, then that's where we're going to keep going, I just wish we could bring some of these productions home to Texas.
Well, get down here. Come on.
She makes a good point. Why should all these other states take advantage of this investment, but not Texas?
Exactly. We shouldn't have to shoot in Georgia.
Or in Mexico.
Or South Carolina.
Or Oklahoma.
Oklahoma. Why don't we just keep that money in Texas?
Ain't all that money like corporate welfare for big Hollywood studios?
No, Wood, it's not.
Lumber yards, restaurants, hotels, housing, thousands of jobs.
Real Texas business owners and citizens. You see, every dollar spent from this incentive puts $4 back in the state of Texas.
That's good ROI.
Productions happen where incentives are.
Texas has the best land, best culture.
So why not the best incentives?
And look, it's not just films with A-list talent either. It's also the independents, commercials, local music videos.
They utilize local infrastructure. So you got all that out-of-state money going into Texans' pockets.
You're telling me my barber is going to benefit from Texas film incentives?
Maybe not your barber, but barbers. Sure.
It just occurred to me that Texas is bigger than most countries. I mean, we got a greater variety of locations than anywhere.
We got deserts, oceans, we got forest, we got rolling hills. Is there anything we don't have?
It's time for Texas to become the home for telling stories that people want to see and hear.
Sounds like it's time for Texas to roll camera.
Yep. So what do you say, Texas legislature? You don't like what Hollywood's been dishing? Let's take over the kitchen. Yeah.